Nama Malaya, how's it going? Master Jamal here, and today we're going to talk about how to shift your reality using the law of assumption. Now, to simply put it, all you have to do is assume something is going to happen, and it's going to happen. But then you probably think like, that's what I do all the time, but it's not working. Here's the thing, though. Like in the videos I talked about so far, the videos of about how to breathe properly using fire breath, and the open eye meditation, and stuff like that. All the things I'm teaching you are techniques you can do to recenter yourself. Because with the law of assumption being one of the laws in the universe, because there are a total of 12 laws of the universe, and we are talking about the law of assumption. I don't know where on the list is going to be, because I'm making a list or finding something for the list after this video. On this list is the law of assumption and the other laws of the universe. All of these laws are important, because with the law of assumption, the law of polarity is also something that comes into play when it comes to the law of assumption. So, with your assumption, the thing that you are assuming to happen, because you're just yo, it's gonna happen, right? There's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's gonna happen. As soon as you allow something to move you out of that, because along with the law of assumption, when you do it, you're essentially also quantum leaping to that version of yourself that is assumed, that you are assuming you already are. But this is also where the law of polarity comes in. Because as soon as you are triggered by something and you are unaligned from that assumed version of yourself, you're now, due to the law of polarity, going to the opposite end of that version of you, where it's like, now it's not, things aren't so great, things are bad, this is the worst experience of your life, and so on and so forth, and all the things that are the opposite of that assumed reality and assumed version of yourself, because you are allowing something external of you or something in general to trigger you. And then now you're going to be going over here due to the law of polarity as well. You're just going to keep going back and forth to 100% positive, 100% negative, negative 100%, positive 100%, negative 100%. You're just going to keep going back and forth. There's no in between. But that's why using fire breath, conscious breathing, what was the other technique I talked about? Open eye meditation. These are techniques you can use to center yourself, because you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be too far in the positive range of something, and then something happens, and now instead of going back to the center, you're all the way over here. All the way over here. So, the law of assumption works that way. You make an assumption about something. Well, I had to explain that. I had to explain that first, because that's where a lot of people get it wrong. People get the law of assumption wrong because they aren't understanding these actual laws in the universe. Things like, think of life as a video game. And I do want to make a video talking about that as well, because that's what it was. Living the life with the hand that you're dealt, because that's really important. Learning how to navigate the life with your hand that you're dealt is really important. And I can talk about a little bit in the preface of the law of assumption, because there are a lot of things that will make up you. And with you assuming to be a perceived version of yourself, you have the capacity, you have the ability, you have everything going for you to be that version of you, with your specific person, with that new job, with that new car, with making tens of thousands of dollars a month, or whatever you want to do. You have everything within you to do that. Now, the question would be, how do you navigate to that? And that's kind of where you have to be hands-off. Not even kind, you have to be completely hands-off. Because I mentioned in one of my past videos, I used to be Christian, like how my faith has been built is because at one point I was Christian. And so I'm going to say this, prefacing like something I learned while being Christian. You have to walk by faith, not by sight. Because there will be a sequence of events that happens leading you to the things that you want. And that's just that's just a given. Like, you can't control the how. You just have to center yourself to here. You have to be here throughout the whole experience. You can have whatever thoughts you want in the process. As long as you recenter yourself to that version of you that you are assuming to be, that's all that matters. Because you can still feel and be that assumed person that have positive thoughts, but recenter yourself back to who you are assuming to be, who you were knowing that you are. And you can also have negative thoughts, and you got to be okay. Just like with the positive thoughts, you got to be okay with not acknowledging either of them. I know it can sound tricky, but it's like, the thing is, with the law of assumption, once you already assume that version of yourself or that reality that you're living, once you start to be that being that has those things, you have no reason to like. You can express gratitude. That's a given. Always express gratitude. Once you step into that, you script, you do whatever process you need to get to that point. You operate, you act as if, and I'm gonna explain what that means, because I feel like a lot of people could misconstrue that as actually acting as if, regardless of the fact that, well, Jamal, in my 3D reality, I'm acting as if, but the money isn't there. It's like, okay, then that's the thing. You're not exactly 100% acting as if, but you are like operating as if. Maybe operating as if is a better way of saying it, because you're going to be making decisions and doing things as that version of yourself, despite what's going on around you, like the things you can't control. Because as the longer you do it, because admittedly, you have to do it on a consistent basis. Because I gotta say this, because this question came to mind a lot in my earlier years. But it's like, once that question comes, once you start to question how long you have to do something, then you are already out of, you have essentially unaligned yourself. Because now you are looking for the thing. Like, how long do I gotta do it? It's the same as, where is it? It's the exact same thing. And as soon as you begin doing that, you are unaligning yourself to this assumed version of yourself. Because again, if you are stepping into or jumping or doing this quantum leap into this assumed version of yourself, you don't have to look for it. You don't have to question anything. Why? Because you already have it. You already have all of those things. And true, it's easier said than done. This is why you have to build habits. Build habits. You have to, essentially, you're not the same person. Because if you were to still did things the way you did before, but still want these things over here, you will forever continue to want these things, because you're not operating as that assumed version of yourself that already has those things. So once you just operate and move about your life, make decisions as if you already have those things, like regardless of if you see them or not, then they will just attract to you. Because again, with all of the laws, with all the laws, law of assumption, law of attraction, law of polarity, law of gender, law of one, law of unity. Either way, if you're going to use one law, all the other laws are going to be taken into account in this. That's why I explained earlier in the video how the law of polarity and the law of assumption, and then I just mentioned the law of attraction, how all of those, I mean, and then it's all of them at that. Like, all of the 12 laws are at play at all times. Whether you feel like you weren't there for this decision to be made or not, that's just how the law of the video game is. These are just like the basic mechanics of the video game. And you cannot deviate from these basic mechanics of the video game. Like, these are literally the cheat codes and just the code of the game itself. And you can use the code of the game to get the things that you want. And in this video, we're talking about the law of assumption. And to simply put it, you assume you are that version of yourself. You assume you're that person who is doing the things that they want with whoever they want and spending as much as they want and making as much money as they want. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to tell nobody. Don't tell nobody about this. This is just between you and your source, which is pretty much you and yourself. It's nobody's business. Like, if you feel like, it's not even if you feel like, once you take the time to script this, or do whatever you need to do whatever techniques you need, especially, mainly if you script it. I'm just saying that if you script it, hide this journal. Hide the journal, hide the piece of paper, hide the note. No one needs to know. I don't care who they are to you in your life, because the thing is, energy is energy. Like, I would never forget this. Someone I used to be friends with told me about this time that she did like some energy work, like imbued this like, it was some kind of like chain thing that she had on her altar, and one of her friends touched it, and she mentioned that the kind of energy she imbued this object with was for money. and she was just like, from what I remember, like storing energy in it so it could be a lot of money. And one of her friends touched it, and then a couple days later, her friend received like a sum of like $1,000+ It was more than $1,000, and it's like, that's why you have to hide these things. Like, it's not that the people in your life are have malicious intent or anything. It's just that stuff can happen. And when it comes to this, what's it called? This delusion, being Delulu, as I'm hearing it's being called, it's nobody's business. You don't have to tell anybody. And then let's say, okay, in this example, you're trying to manifest a specific person, and someone asks you if you're dating someone. You say no, because in the 3D world you're not, but within you are, and that's how it works. You don't have to tell nobody. This is how being Delulu actually works. It's nobody's business. It's yours and yours alone. Like, this would be one of those few moments where I say, don't comment down below what you're talking about. Now, if you are going to comment down below, you can say something positive and reinforcing for other people, but you don't have to necessarily comment down below what you're trying to manifest. You can, is your choice, because you can put out there that you are wanting these things, and then, as I said a couple moments ago, someone can comment some reinforcing things for you, because this is how it's all just energy. It is all just energy. But if you're scripting something in like a notebook or journal, hide that shit. Hide it. Don't let nobody touch it. Don't nobody look at it. It is yours. Just like with you having your own assumed version of yourself. Be very careful if you're going to share it. Be very careful who you're going to share it with. Or just don't even mention it at all, because it's not their business. It's all yours. And I will also say this again, like even though I was just talking about it before, if you feel like you want to share it, you can do so. And I will encourage everyone in the comment section, whoever wants to chime in on what you are looking to manifest for yourself, to be positive only. Because it's all about energy. Energy is the game when it comes to manifestations of any kind. The more energy something has, the more positive energy. No, not even positive or negative. The more energy in general something has. Because regardless of what energy is given, whether it be positive or negative, because like for example, when people have haters, side note, if someone hates you, they actually love you. I'm just going to drop that seed right there because I'm going to talk about it later. And I'm going to say it again. If somebody is hating on you, they actually love you. Because hate is disguised as love. And it's just another video. I'm just going to put that on the shelf for another time. But again, law of assumption. It's as simple as that. It's all about assuming who you are, who you want to be. I would say scripting. I know I mentioned scripting a few times. I feel like that is a sure way of helping the mind get to that state of being, or helping you get to that state of being where you, are that version of yourself that you are assuming to be. And it's not just scripting. So once you script it down, get as detailed as possible, go as crazy as you want, and then once you're done, you read it to yourself and you take your time to feel those emotions. And this is and honestly, you don't necessarily have to script it. You can even just close your eyes and do like a visualization. Then there's also vision boards. There are so many things you can do besides just the practices I've shared with you to help keep yourself on track. Because again, like I said in my eye energy meditation video, my open eye meditation video, our eyes are taking in loads of information from everything we look at. If we can influence our own information we receive when we look at something, the better. So scripting stuff, vision boards, like anything whatsoever. It can be a tattoo, because again, especially if it's a tattoo, and that, I'm not going to do a video on that. It just came to mind. But the thing is, like, tattoos are really important. They're much more spiritual than people think. Much more spiritual indeed. Because like for myself, for example, I chose to get this as my first tattoo, the flower of life. And I'm gonna like the plans for my tattoos are my plans. You'll see them once once I get them. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. The law of assumption is that you are assuming who you are, and you're operating throughout your life, making decisions and like doing things as if you are already that person or that version of yourself. That's the simple version of it. But all the explaining I did is to explain the other things that needed to be explained. Because the other laws of the universe have everything to do with each other. They are all working all at the same time. So if you're going to be using one, it is in your best interest to know how the other 11 or how just the other laws are also going to play a role in you using specifically one law. It's just how the game works. You can't decide like, oh, I'm only going to use one law. No. They're always working. They've always been working. And they just keep working. They're like the programs on the computer that are already there when you first get your computer. Because I've always wondered like, why is there like 20 gigs of stuff I'm not using? It's just stuff there already. So yeah, that's how you manifest your desired reality, and it's as simple as that. But I will say, here's something you can do to test it out. Now, the first time after learning about the law of attraction and the law of assumption and all of the secret and all that stuff, the first thing I actually manifested was pizza. I manifested pizza because this is how it all works. Because like I said before, you don't focus on the how. A sequence of events will happen and then you will be there. But you will also still be centering yourself and recentering yourself along the way to make sure you get there seamlessly through this sequence of events. So with me, I was just working. Like I was focused. I was not focused on the thing because I wasn't focused on the thing because I already had it. Like, or I felt like I was already going to get it. It's like I felt regardless that it was inevitable that I was going to get pizza. I didn't think about how. I didn't know where coming from. I didn't think about any of that. I was just like, I just said to myself, I want some pizza. Just to like test it out, just to test the waters, you know? And I forgot about it. Because I felt like I didn't need it, you know what I mean? Because I was already fully focused on doing something. I was working at a t-shirt shop. Because I was the graphic designer there. And I was like the lead graphic designer, shop supervisor kind of thing. And it was one of those moments where the program manager, because it was a nonprofit organization, and he was out for like the week. And it was up to me to just go in before the students, because we employed high school students up until their senior year. So they were at school, and I got there like 10 in the morning or something like that. So for that morning, I was just working and focused and listening to Master Shria Karshner videos. I forget which video it was because this was like 2017. So this is before he did his journey. It was actually like 2019, but also still before he did his journey to the Himalayan mountains with his master. What? I can't remember his name. Oh, okay, there we go. I remember now. So yeah, with his master Akshar. So again, this was 2019. There was a snippet I had to edit out because I was like, wait a minute, am I saying his name right? But yes, it's Master Akshar. So I was watching, listening to those videos while I was working. I was like, you know what? Let me try something out. And so while I was working, because it was like I was working on an automatic press. I remember it so vividly. And I was like, let me just test it out, because I would also recommend for you to get the hang of it. You try on something small and insignificant, something you won't really care about it. And I was like, just working on it. I want some pizza. and I just forgot about it. Because this phrase he would always say is set it and forget it. You asking for that thing, or you making that assumption of that thing, and you just go on about your day, and you forget about it because, for one, you already know, regardless of what happens, you're going to get that thing, or you are already that thing. So there's no need to keep asking for it, or to keep wondering where it is, or keep wondering how long you have to wait, because it's already yours. And then the beauty of it is, I forgot about it so much because I was so focused on doing what I need to do to screen print these shirts. And then the students arrived, and I was making sure they were good. And one of the students had some pizza, and like I didn't know, like they were just talking about some stuff. He's like, "Yeah, I got some pizza on my way here," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Yo, for real? Can I get a slice?" And they were like, "Yeah." So I grabbed it and I bit into it, and I was like, "Wait a minute. I asked for this earlier." I could have sworn like 4 hours ago I said to myself, I want some pizza. And here I am, biting into a pizza. And then like as I was just looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just chewing and whatnot and just looking at the pizza. I'm like, bro, what? It even has toppings that I eat. Because at this time I was in my transition to being vegan. So I guess I could technically say I've been vegan for about 5 years. No, still 4. Officially vegan for 4 years. But at this point, I was transitioning into being vegan. So at this point, I was just vegetarian. And there were vegetarian toppings, which is black olive. And I was like, whoa, even the toppings. I didn't ask about the toppings. I didn't go into detail. I just said I wanted some pizza. And dang, I got some pizza with some toppings that I like. So, and I'll also say that again. I didn't go into detail about what I wanted exactly. I just said I wanted some pizza. But if I had went into detail, then it could have been a jalapeno pizza. It could have been a pineapple jalapeno. Pineapple jalapeno is like one of my favorite toppings. I don't care what any of you say. I could put on my pizza what I want. This is my pizza. If I want pineapple and jalapeno, I'm going to get pineapple and jalapeno, okay? I'm not going to judge you because you are also eating whatever you're eating. And the bottom line is, regardless of what toppings we are putting on this pizza, it's still bread, fruit sauce, and cheese. Because the potato is technically a fruit. And then some people still don't get that. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are technically a fruit. So we have this bread, this doughy bread, fruit sauce from a tomato, and then cheese. And then you're putting meat on top of that. Make that make sense, yo. But anyway, specifying what you want. So this is why I mentioned earlier in the video about scripting. If you go as detailed as possible, you set that intention, you feel those energies that you are this version of yourself that has these things already. Because when you're you're going to script in a present tense as if you already are experiencing these things, and then you just forget. And that's how the law of assumption works, and that's how you create your own reality. I want you to comment down below your thoughts on this. Comment down below if you tried any of this before. And also comment down below if you are interested in anything personal training related. Because right now I'm working on the things that I need to do. We got to do some research because I could do the whole process to give you guys a funnel. But I also want to make sure this process works. Because again, this is a large file for this free calisthenic program. And also check the links down below for booking time with me so we can talk about any of this stuff and I can navigate you through any of the things you're manifesting and some of the things that you're struggling with. And then also there's my gaming channel, the True Pro Tag. It's also on YouTube. Actually, I'm going to be hopping on today to finish recording some of the videos I'm going to be making for my other YouTube channel. The links will be down below. Then yeah, that is all. Peace, love, prosperity to you guys, and I'll see you next time.